Hello, good morning. It's me, Shirley, and today we are going to have an amazing conversation with Dallas based rising star CAMÍNA. She's going to join us this morning, and we're going to talk about her new single, her upcoming album, and so much more. So while I connect with CAMÍNA, as usual, I would like to know if everybody can see me, can hear me properly. If that's yes, that's great. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us this morning. So let's connect with CAMÍNA right away. Buenos días, buenos días. So let's see. CAMÍNA, it's right here. Let's go live. Good morning. CAMÍNA, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm going to turn you up a little bit because
Sure.
this is actually my first time ever doing this. So I'm trying to figure it out.
Great. So first time today for many, many things. So first, congratulations for your single. Very exciting. So before we go into the single, I know there's a special meaning behind the name, behind your artistic name, CAMÍNA. So can you please explain what's the meaning behind that?
Sure thing. First of all, Shirley, thank you so much for having me this morning. I'm really excited to talk to you, tell you all about it. I moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico to work on writing a record. I was too distracted in my hometown and couldn't focus. And so this was around September of last year. And I moved to an area called Camino La Tierra in
La
Santa
tijera.
Fe. Yeah. and I'm just, you're surrounded. There's a heavy Spanish influence here in Santa Fe. And so dates back. It's actually one of the oldest cities in the country. Dates back to the early 1600s. And of course, Native Americans were here, and then the Spanish came. But every street sign in the town is a Spanish name. So everywhere you go, you see the word Camino everywhere, or Camina everywhere. And I always thought it was interesting, and I thought, oh, I've seen Camino, but I don't know what Camina means. And so I looked it up. I said, oh, it means just to walk. And so when I was trying to come up with a band name, which is one of the hardest things to do because it seems like every good band name is taken, I saw that Camino was available. And I couldn't believe it. And I thought, oh my gosh, it means to walk. This record is about my journey up until this point in my life. And how appropriate is it? So I feel like the universe just gifted it to me or something. So that's how I came up with the name. And it's gotten a lot of really good response just from my friends. And of course, I bounced the idea around a few people and they all loved it. So it seems to be good. It's catchy. And I feel like I connect with it on a very personal level.
That's great. Well, let's talk about Cinnamon. First, I would like you to explain the inspiration behind it. And also, there's this tricky way to describe it. It's a marimba-infused trip hop beat. Can you tell me what that means?
Yes, be happy to. So my producer and I, Black Taffy, who's based in Dallas, he was coming through Santa Fe on tour while I was working on this record, and his music, he's an expert at infusing different South American sounds and taking samples from South American records, and it's definitely a big part of his sound and his craft, and I'm a huge fan of his. And so he was coming through town and he ended up staying with me the night. And then we started talking about music. And I said, we should collaborate. And this is kind of how the conversation began. And so he is really responsible for introducing me to some very old bolero records and South American and Colombian influences from the 1940s, which I absolutely fell in love with. You guys haven't heard it yet, but October 2nd, the full album will drop, but there are many more songs on there. So the EP is half in English and half in Spanish. So cinnamon just so happens to have a little Spanish in it. So
Perfect. And tell me about the inspiration behind cinnamon.
the inspiration behind cinnamon. Well, man, okay. So I, right in the beginning or in the fall of 2019, it's probably in August, right when the immigration struggle was happening at the border. I had some time off from work, and I thought, God, I felt so helpless, and so wanting to use my resources and my time somehow to really help with what was happening down at the border. And also I wanted it to see for myself, because I don't trust our news sources anymore. I mean, just in terms of getting the right message out there, and you can't decipher what is true anymore.
Correct.
And so when you hear about people being locked up, because and being separated from their families, and then just kind of having the news kind of gloss over that, which is how I feel personally about it. I feel like there wasn't enough attention, because they weren't even allowed to go into the camps. And this is one thing that really upsets me. It's I have to take a few deep breaths here, because I can get really I get mad as hell talking about this issue. But it's just, it's taxpayer dollars that pay for all of these things. And if you're an American citizen and you're paying a portion of your proceeds of your hard-earned money, you should have the right to see what the hell is going on down there. And so that's what I felt. And I said, I've got the time. It's a 4-hour drive for me living in Texas. I'm going to go see what's going on down there. And it was just incredibly eye-opening to see so many people with the same sort of fury and anger and trying to help, and all of us feeling helpless and feel like we couldn't even add to aid in this situation. And what I learned while I was down there is that these people need legal help. They need legal immigration lawyers. And so the best thing you could do was help support the ACLU and all of the attorneys helping in this matter with the individual cases, because we run on a government policy, and policy is king in this country, in this slow democratic bureaucratic process. And so you need attorneys that can speak and push the ball forward and help these people on a individual level. So, and a lot of these attorneys, they're kind of like saviors to people, because they're giving their time and they're working for free because they believe in the cause.
Did you have the opportunity to talk with somebody there, like one of the seekers, asylum seekers?
I did not. No, they didn't let anybody near, not even reporters. Everybody was just kind of camped very far away. I mean, they took significant strides to keep people far away from what was going on. And when that sort of thing happens, that has to cause you to raise a question like, what are they hiding? Or what the hell is going on in there, And I met a lot of frustrated reporters,
You mentioned also that sometimes it's hard to trust some media outlets based on the information that they provide. Us as a media outlet, how we are always sharing and trying to be transparent and support our community. But you being looking from another perspective and having that experience, what do you think we can do to support and be better and keep spreading the message?
Oh my gosh, I think education is so important. Educate yourself. Like read the truth, read about the history of immigration in this country, and read about everything the Obama administration did to help out with DACA, and how when the Trump administration got elected, how that just all went away, and how important it is to vote in your local elections, not just the presidential election, because you're electing these people that end up in city councils, that end up in Congress, that end up in Senate, then end up in the House of Representatives. I mean, this is how it all works. And you've got to get the right people in there to sway the vote, to change policy, to really affect change. And I think, people now with the Black Lives Matter movement, I'm so encouraged, because I think for the first time I see all my white friends getting woke, reading about the history of what has happened in this country. And I think until you educate yourself and really understand and know and have the knowledge, you cannot even begin to help or understand where to find the resources, because you have to understand the problem and the history and where it came from first. So yeah, as a media and news, I think it's important to disseminate truth and don't use your platform as a voice. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do in a very small way with this song, with this music. I'm
Yes.
very passionate about it. It's very dear to my heart. My mom was a first generation cotton picker in Colorado. My grandparents were immigrants, so it's a part of my story, and it's very personal to me.
You said what we all can notice how passionate you are, and also you are using your music to, you know, spread and share a message. And you're doing the same with your music video. Can you please tell me a little bit, or tell us a little bit of the music video, the inspiration behind it, and so many details that people are going to be able to see in that video?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, making a music video during COVID is no easy feat.
Hmm.
Production crews are shut down. You don't have hair and makeup. You don't have, DPs or photographers to help. But luckily, my oldest, dearest friend, Dan Johnson, I've known him for over 20 years, met him when I was 17. He does a lot of video content and creative for the Black Lives Matter movement. And I had reached out to him back in, gosh, when was this? February or March. And I said, hey, would you be available to come do a music video in April for me? Because I'm planning on releasing this in July and I need a music video. And he emailed back. He's like, I'm kind of crazy busy right now with everything. And the Black Lives Matter movement, George Floyd hadn't even started yet, but he was
Yes.
still busy. But then COVID happened and everything shut down. And
Yes.
so he sent me an email. He said, Ariel, I've got all the time in the world now. He goes, if you don't mind me, I'll come out to New Mexico, and we can't shoot, like we can't get any location. So we're going to have to get really creative about where we shoot this. And it just so happens I'm renting this house here in Santa Fe while I'm on sabbatical working on this record. We shot it all here in this house in one location. And so yeah, the inspiration behind it, he resonated with it. He resonated with the song. This song is a call to action. It's, si lo de puedo de, is a definite, cry. And I want it to resonate with people, specifically our people. Because I think, that this record and this song in particular is about the resilience of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a concurrent theme throughout the entire record, but for this song specifically. And so I want it to be a song that empowers people, and I want it to be something that people are inspired by.
I know that besides making music that inspire people, you are also making music to honor your heritage. Tell me a little bit of how important is that for you?
Oh, well, I mean, like I said a moment ago, it's incredibly important. I mean, you know, yeah, I'll tell you a story actually. My dad was in the military, and I actually moved to England when I was 3 months old from Lamesa, Texas. It's where I was born. And I grew, my parents both grew up very poor. And like I told you, my mom was a cotton picker. And I feel like they had a shame about their heritage and a shame about where they came from living in America as an immigrant during the times that they grew up in. This is the 50s and 60s. And I've seen it in a lot of people their age from their generation. And we moved to England, and I didn't even learn I was Hispanic or Latina until I was 10 years old when we came back to the United States and I met my extended family for the first time. And it was just a whole new world for me. And I remember having a thought like, why are these people so different from me? Why did I not know about this? At your 10-year-old brain is trying to like
Right.
think about these things. But through that, I mean, I grew up as a teenager thinking there's no need to be ashamed of who I am or where I come from. I think it's important to speak your truth. I think it's important to honor that. And so I feel like I'm sort of picking up a mantle and saying, yes, mom and dad, I realize where you came from, the time you grew up in, but this is who I am now. And this is a time to rise above all of that and not be ashamed of who you are or where you come from. We're a people of resilience. We're a people of love and passion, and just have an incredible heritage, and we all should be proud of it. So I'm proud to be
Correct.
Latina.
Yeah, that's great. Well, in fact, Latinos, parents, Hispanics in general, they are always very proud of their kids, and us, always want to make them proud. When
Yeah.
your mom and your dad or the rest of your family saw you with, with this music video, when you said that you want to be an artist, were they supportive?
Yeah, for the most part. I think parents get scared anytime their child wants to become an
Yeah,
artist.
no, and especially Hispanic, because they always want us to be doctors. They want us to be, engineers, architects, and stuff. So when we say that, oh, we want to be artists, they might be a little bit more, they might have their reservations.
Yeah. Oh, well, definitely. I can say that I experienced a little bit of that.
Well, but at the end of the day, they are supporting now.
Yeah, absolutely. I
That's
think
great.
you've got to follow your passion and your truth. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. And I've worked in jobs before where I was very unhappy. So I've been there and done that.
Okay. So let's talk about Te Quiero Mucho.
Mhm.
Why the title, and when can we start enjoying the whole album?
Okay, so yeah, so te quiero mucho comes from a phrase I used to speak to my precious little dog of 13 years. Whenever I loved her so much, I am an obsessed dog craze person, and I'm not ashamed of it. I had a dog for 13 years, and she got cancer the last year of her life, and I took care of her on a daily basis. I mean, talk about having something completely dependent on you for everything. That's what it kind of turned out to be, and I just learned to love her in new ways, and my love just deepened for her. And so I used to just whisper it to her all the time, just te quiero mucho, Olivia, te quiero mucho. And so that became like a phrase. And while she was passing away, and she passed away June of last year, I was working on this record that whole time, taking her to her, she had chemo treatments, the whole thing. And so te quiero mucho. And there's a song I wrote about her passing, and I wrote about just the deep, love connection that you can have, and the love of loss. And we've all lost somebody close to us. Most of us have anyway, and it's a very, very difficult thing to go through, emotionally. And I think it's important to process that. It just so happens my way of processing it is through a creative outlet, and is to make music. And so yeah, I wrote Forever and Always, which is going to be the second single that'll come out August 14th. And then you can hear the rest of the EP of Te Quiero Mucho on October 2nd, this fall.
Perfect. And where we can get it?
Oh gosh, everywhere. Actually, I've been up all night trying to trying to make sure all the links work, because everything launched at midnight last night. And so yeah, you can hear it on Spotify, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google Play. Most importantly, right now, I would love for people to go to YouTube and watch the video. You can hear it for free there, and see the video. So
That's great. Yeah, I love the video. So I would like to invite everybody in our Instagram live. So as soon as we wrap this up, go to YouTube, go to Spotify, go to everywhere and enjoy and support Camina. It's been a pleasure. And I wish you nothing but the best.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.